We begin tonight in Ramona, where a toddler was shot in the leg. Investigators were called to a home in the 24,200 block of Sargent Road this morning. We're told that the child was taken to Rady Children's Hospital by car right after the incident. News 8's Regina Ahn is outside the hospital tonight. Now, Regina, what can you tell us about how that baby is doing?
Kirsten, yeah, that little girl recovering tonight here at Rady Children's Hospital. San Diego County Sheriff's Department saying she arrived this morning at 11:14. Take a look at this video from on scene. Now, we know that it happened on Ramona and Ysidro Drive and Sargent Road. What we know at this time, the child was shot in the leg. How or why this happened, still all unknown at this time. We know the child was brought in by a woman at this point. Again, we don't know the relationship of the woman to the child. We're also told there was about a dozen or more people living at that location. And of course, this is all still an ongoing investigation. Not too much information known at this time. We'll be following this story throughout the evening, so be sure to follow us both on air and online. Live here at the Rady Children's Hospital. Regina Ahn, Kirsten, back to you.
Thank you for that live report, Regina. Now, a massive oil spill has left the Orange County coast a mess. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, 126,000 gallons of oil leaked from an offshore oil rig. Lifeguards say dead fish and birds are washing ashore, and the fight is on to save any surviving animals. News 8's Allison Royal spoke to a San Diego organization ready to respond whenever they're needed.
SeaWorld is on standby, ready to help a variety of animals impacted by this oil spill, so mainly turtles and dolphins. They're going to be stabilized and then put in these large containers at SeaWorld like these to help be nursed back to health.
We are in the midst of a potential ecological disaster here in Huntington Beach.
This is what Orange County looked like on Sunday. The U.S. Coast Guard believes Beta Offshore, a division of Amplify Energy Corporation, is likely responsible for this spill.
In the coming days and weeks, we challenge the responsible parties to do everything possible to rectify this environmental catastrophe.
It's not just a mess for humans. It's a race against the clock to save animals.
The oil will kill them. Kill the animals. There's no doubt about it. The birds that are affected can't hunt for their food. They can't thermoregulate. The oil is toxic. They try and preen it off their feathers, and they won't survive. The oil is caustic. It'll burn turtles. It'll burn dolphins.
That's why SeaWorld, which is a part of the Oiled Wildlife Care Network, is on standby. It's teamed up with other environmental organizations to respond once needed. Kim Peterson has been doing this for 22 years.
We have been training to wash them and then stabilize them and return them to health to return back to the wild.
Staff members are preparing this 8,000 square foot facility for an oil spill response.
So on the whiteboard, we write the specifics about that animal. We take its temperature, we take a blood sample, we take a sample of the oil.
Staff members utilize different tools like soft mats for animals that aren't used to walking on hard surfaces like we are.
The turtles initially are housed here until they're deemed stable enough to go into a pool.
It's a long process to save these animals from the highly toxic oil. But Peterson said this is what they train for.
Depending on the species of animal, it could be a few hours to several days before the animal is actually washed free of the oil.
According to Kim, the recovery time for these animals really varies, but for sea turtles, it's a little bit more complicated. In fact, some of these turtles could be here until next summer when the water temperature is a little bit warmer. I'm Allison Royal for News 8.
All right, so now for a check of our weather. A warm weekend is coming to an end, but Sean says that's about to change a lot. He joins us now with the first look at the microclimate forecast. Hey there, Sean.
Good evening, Kirsten. Yeah, a lot is right. I mean, we're going to go from hot and sunny to cloudy and rain, thunderstorms possible. Look at your temperatures outside right now. We're talking about upper 80s in most inland microclimates. We were in the low 90s a couple hours ago. And along the coastline, equally as warm. The mountains, because there's somewhat of an inversion, a cap squeezing the cooler air down towards the mountaintops, Palomar Mountain and Mount Laguna at 65 and 66. Atmosphere bone dry out there because of that high pressure squeezing the moisture out of the atmosphere. And as I mentioned, a big change coming our way. Take a look at these temperatures. 80 tomorrow, so a slight cool down. But by the time we get to Wednesday, we're talking about 72 and another storm on the way. Now, the showers overnight Monday into Tuesday could bring us a tenth to maybe a quarter of an inch of rain as this area of low pressure churns off the coastline. We'll see the temperatures drop off quite a bit from Monday into Tuesday as that low exits out of the area. Cooler air heading in our way. And then look at the inland temperatures by Wednesday. 75. Yesterday we were 99 in Valley Center, so a dramatic change in temperatures heading our way, and another storm waiting in the wings. I'll tell you about that one in just a bit.
If a fire breaks out in your home, do you have a plan, or are you ready for the next wildfire if need be? Today is the first day of Fire Prevention Week, and observation started way back in 1925 in early October to commemorate the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. News 8's Ariana Cohen has safety tips for you to help keep you and your family safe.
In order to be better prepared for fires, families met with neighborhood firefighters to learn important safety tips, not only for inside your home, but also for wildfires. It's October after all, a month notorious for wildfires in California. For many, Fire Prevention Week sparks memories of the brush fires in Ramona in 2019, the devastating Witch Creek fire in 2007, and the destructive Cedar fire in 2003. All of these fires started in October.
The Cedar fire and the Witch fire that we've had here historically in 03 and 07 were devastating. We lost houses, we lost lives, and those started in the month of October. It was October 26th, and dry Santa Ana conditions, high winds.
That's one of the reasons local firefighters at College Area Station 10 held this event to perform an auto extrication safety demonstration, introduce crisis response canines, and promote fire safety tips to children.
I think that the fire truck is a really fast thing and it can save anything. Listen to your parents.
And EMTs like Alberto Guzman and Andrea Jensen.
And so wildfires are very, very common up in the forestry areas. I think one of the biggest things is just having a little extra care and thought, like don't be reckless, you know, not just littering and throwing things away, and also just having extra care for your environment, your forests.
It's important to not only protect yourself inside your home.
Smoke detectors save lives. If you hear it chirping, pay attention to it.
But also from wildfires.
Wildfires are very prevalent in Southern California, so a good thing to do is to have a go bag. Have something that's there and ready for about 72 hours to be away from your home.
Make sure to always have emergency alerts turned on your cell phone, and for more tips, head to our website. Ariana Cohen, News 8.
It's a welcome fit for a hero. Almost 100 veterans from World War II and the Korean War are back home after the first honor flight in the nation's capital since the pandemic started. News 8's Dana Marie McNichol was at the San Diego International Airport for the celebration. Hey there, Dana Marie.
And what a celebration it was. There were hugs, there were smiling faces and tears as well of loved ones and veterans who returned here at the San Diego International Airport with honor flight. Now there's an estimated 800 people here today. You can feel the energy and excitement in the room as we waited anxiously for our veterans to come down this escalator. An outpouring of patriotism and pride filled the airport terminal. Flags waving and decorated signs ready for a very special welcome.
Today is our 63rd anniversary, and my husband was in the Army.
94 veterans from World War II and the Korean War returned home after an eventful weekend in Washington, D.C., visiting the memorials created in their honor.
He just loved every minute of it. He called me on the phone, and he said it's amazing.
Many veterans have been waiting years for this opportunity. This is the first honor flight in 2 years since the beginning of the pandemic.
My dad's 93. He's hoped for this for such a long time.
Dawn Medina and 3 generations of her family couldn't wait to shower their hero with love and appreciation for his service. A welcome home much different than one he experienced years ago, she says.
He really wanted to see the World War II monument since that's what he was in, and actually he wanted to look at the names on the on Vietnam Wall.
Their ages range from 85 to 104 years old, including 7 veterans over the age of 100. This honor flight included 6 female veterans and 28 World War II veterans.
It was beautiful and everything was wonderful.
A beautiful celebration and a huge thank you to all of our veterans. Now, if you have a veteran in your life that you think could benefit from this experience, we'll have more information on CBS8.com.